Hey, this is Mr. Ward, and this is the Algebra Do Now 28.2 video key, the one that it is related to the day that we're doing quadratics 3 and 4, finishing up quadratics 3 and doing quadratics 4. So what x values would make x minus 7 times x plus 8 equals 0? Well, the x values that would do that are the x values that would make x minus 7 0, or the x value that make x plus 8 0. And that would be 7 for that one and negative 8 there, because those two would make those 0. So x could be 7 and x could be negative 8 because 7 minus 7 is 0, and that would make this whole thing equal 0. And negative 8 plus 8 would be 0, so that would make this whole thing 0 as well. And we wouldn't care about the other term, or the other factor, I should say. And what x values would make this cubic polynomial equal to 0? So the x value that you just want to look at, what would be the x-intercepts for each one of these linear equations? Well, the x-intercept for x plus 11 is going to be negative 11, because that's what would make x plus 11 equal to 0. So, oops, hang on. So we got x can be negative. Oh, what is going on here? That is not what I asked it to do. Come on, you can do this. X could equal negative 11, x could equal 8, and x could equal 20, because negative 11 plus 11 is 0, 8 minus 8 is 0, and 20 minus 20 is 0. Any one of those x values would make one of the factors 0. So negative 11 plus 11, that would be 0. 11 minus 8 would be 3. 11 minus 20 would be negative 9. It doesn't matter that that's negative 9. It doesn't matter that that's 3, because you're multiplying it times 0, and who cares about anything after that? You're just going to be 0. So what is the y value of a coordinate at an x-intercept? Well, it might be useful to draw whole xy grid. An x-intercept is something on the x-axis, and everything on the x-axis is some x value, comma, 0. The x-axis is in fact defined as y equals 0. So y would equal 0 everywhere on the x-axis. All right, what do we get? We expand x minus 4 times x plus 4. Okay, let's do that. I'll pick purple for this one. So we do x times x, and we do negative 4 times 4. And we also do x times 4 and negative 4 times x. And we put all of those together, and let's work it out. So we got x times x is x squared. And then 4 times negative 4 is going to be negative 16. And in the middle, we're going to have x times 4, which is going to be 4x. And then we're going to have negative 4 times x, which is going to be negative 4x. And you might notice immediately that the stuff in the middle is just going to go poof. So 4x minus 4x is just going to be 0. So you're going to be left with, say, 0 there, which means you're left with x squared minus 16. And you are done with that one. All right, now what do we get if we expand or multiply x plus 9 times x minus 9? Well, once again, we're going to do x times x, which will be x squared. We'll do 9 times negative 9, which will be negative 81. And then we'll do x times negative 9 and 9 times x. So that's going to give us negative 9x plus 9x. And you'll probably notice immediately that some stuff is going away in the middle. Negative 9x plus positive 9x is just going to be 0. So you're going to be left with x squared minus 81. And that is the answer to that. I hope that helped.